you want to identify how many scenarios there are for this. For number 2, what you want to do is that there's a total of 15 trees of a sample. So we know that this is automatically going to be 15C something, right? 15 choose something. It says at least 4. So that means that there's going to be at least 4 would mean that there are going to be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So that means that the amount of probabilities you have to calculate there's like 11 probabilities, right? So in this case, what is better is to instead calculate the other possibilities and subtract that from 1. So the other way to do this is to subtract from 1. So what I should instead is I should do 1 minus the probability of 0 developing, which would be 15C0. There are 15C0 ways of that happening. Each time that I flower would be 0.02%, and this would happen 0 times 0.98, and this would happen 15 times. Okay. So this first is the probability, or this is how many different ways can you have 15 trees develop 0 flowers. And then this right here, 0.02 to the 0 power, this represents that none of the trees are developing flowers, right? Because there's a 2% chance. Well, if none of them are happening, then it's going to happen 0 times. So I have to do this for 1, 0.02 to the 1 power, 0.98. And again, this is going to add up to 15. The exponents are going to add up to 15, but the probabilities will not change, right? So this time it's 15C1 because we want to calculate the chance of 1 flowering. We want to calculate the chance of 2 flowering. And then we also want to add 15C3 to the 12 power. Okay. So again, what we're doing is we're subtracting the probabilities of developing 0 flowers, 1 flower, 2 flowers, and 3 flowers, because every other possibility is from 4 to 15. Every other possibility is from 4 to 15. Okay. So that means that 100% represents all the different possibilities that there are. And by subtracting the possibility of 0, 1, 2, and 3, we're left with 4 through 15. We're left with the remaining probabilities. Okay. Okay, so at this point, you would type it into your calculator. You could just go ahead and type this in. So you would do 1 minus So in this case, what you could do is that you could type 1 minus, and then parentheses, 15 math, go here. And then you just really just type in everything that you wrote on your paper. So
probability of growing something that
So you can see here that it would be 1.83, and then it says e to the negative 4. All that means is that it would be that times 10 to the negative 4, so it would be 0.000183. And this, if we move it to decimals, would be here and then here. Then this would be 0.0183%. And does this make sense? Well, it does make a lot of sense because it's actually a really small probability to develop more than 4 flowers. It's a 2% chance to develop even 1 flower. So to develop more than 4, that's really small, right? That should be very, very small. So this makes sense. Right, this makes sense. So this is a 0.0183% chance to develop at least 4 flowers. Okay, are there any questions on this? Are there any questions on this?